Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Welcome to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today. It's myself, Chris Williams, licensed marriage and family therapist. I am with another licensed marriage and family therapist, Marc Cameron.
Hello.
And with licensed psychologist, Dr. Jill Hubbard.
Hello.
All right, Jill.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Tell us what's on your mind today.
Okay. Well, there was a song that had a line, "Only the Lonely."
Uh-huh.
I've been hearing a lot lately about loneliness from the pulpit, from different speakers, and there's been new research that has come out, lots of different stats, but that there's been an increase in loneliness. And I think it's kind of an obvious that, especially through COVID, we all have discovered that people have become more lonely. But it's interesting that the loneliest group being reported is 18 to 22-year-olds.
Wow.
And then there's kind of this U-shaped curve where loneliness then picks up again and increases after 60 years old. That's a more obvious group
Right, that makes
to me.
sense.
And
Yeah.
that makes sense. And there's even research that has been done where people that are chronically lonely have a greater increase of stroke. They die earlier. Even their cells look differently. Which I thought this was interesting. Chronic loneliness, cells look different. The white blood cells of people who suffered through appear to be stuck in a state of fear, which I thought was very interesting. But this age group of 18 to 22, I mean, I think about it, we've really have young people that are not launching as quickly. That feel stuck, feel lost, and they're the ones in a crowd feeling lost.
Yeah.
And so, that's important to note, and that almost 60% of people have reported periods of loneliness in their lives. And I think about when people, and there's more people living alone now than ever before, and people not marrying till almost 40, which is kind of these new trends. And one of our trends here at New Life is connection, right?
Yeah.
We're always telling people, let's get connected. We need those connection because that also changes your brain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times, and then there's these trends too. Have you guys heard the term walk-away wife or silent divorce?
No.
Okay,
No.
so these are just these trendy terms. But what it means is there's also a lot of people. So in the middle there's still a group. And I remember when I did my book, The Secrets Women Keep, one of the things that was astonishing was how many lonely women in Christian marriages.
Yeah.
And how people can actually disconnect living in the same house to where they're so emotionally disconnected and then they become physically disconnected and they're just living kind of parallel lives but not connecting. And over time, so that's the silent divorce. And then over time, the walk-away wife, which is then, men are left stunned, is that there's nothing left.
Yeah.
And so after years of disconnect and years of no emotional aliveness, they walk away.
Yeah.
And it's a shock. And so I think we need to be aware of these trends and what we need to do about it. We need to increase our level of connection, even though it's scary, because it's a matter of life and death for our relationships, for our mere lives.
Yeah, and that's
And
the
for our
difference.
growing
That's
up.
the difference between being alone and loneliness.
Yes,
you can
there
be
is.
like you said in a crowd around others. 18 to 22. You think they'll be the most socially connected on
I know.
electronic platforms.
Yes.
But they're feeling lonely, and that's
Absolutely.
even worse when you're around
A
others.
loss of
And-
meaning, a hopelessness.
Well, and to that point, there are so
Lack of
many
purpose.
ways that you can connect through New Life. So check out our resources. Go to newlife.com. If you are waiting to talk to us, we're going to go to the calls right after this.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 1st through the 3rd. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I've had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEWLIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you're with us today, and we are also glad that Samuel is with us today. He is listening in Atlanta, Georgia on Sirius XM. Samuel, talk to us. What's going on today?
Guys, thank you so much for taking my call.
No problem.
Marriage of 13 years. We'll be 14 in October if God sees grace on our situation. We went through some issues January of 23, separated for a month, back together, and then out of nowhere in April, she told me she wasn't over the issues we had, and we've separated again. Now, we're just fine in front of the kids. We coexist. We talk every day, 3, 4, 5 times a day. The I love yous are no problem to say, but she wants to meet today with her dad, which the previous 2 conversations with her dad have not gone well. We have seen separate counseling, me for the things I was dealing with, 22 months now, clear of the issues I was having online. She sees her counselor for her personal healing. She's trying to heal and forgive, but now she wants to meet with her dad, and I don't know what to do. I just wanted some advice.
So, Samuel, one of the things that's really important is to know what the issues are, because it gives us a really good idea of what the recovery looks like. So what led to the original separation?
I was doing things online I shouldn't, fake names, fake profiles, indulging in fetishes, talks, conversation with people, which I incorporated into our marriage.
So
I thought she was into these things as well. She went along, but she was only trying to please me, and I didn't know she was.
So in introducing other relationships and relational or sexual fantasies into the marriage.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's really helpful. One more question. Samuel, what have you done about your issues in regards to fidelity in your marriage, your life, and your own sexual acting out?
Well, first of all, I just had to take the temptation completely away.
That's good.
The only social media account I have is an account that we share to where I can speak with her using Messenger or speak with the children.
Okay.
There's only one friend on there. That is her. She has the password to the account. There is complete transparency to anything I do online. My personal email, my work email are all open and available to her. There is nothing in my life that is not available to her, and she can see where I go 24/7 with Life 360 map. So my life is complete transparent to her.
Yeah, so you've established really, really strong boundaries with really high accountability to her. But Samuel, I'm just going to dig into something because it's really important. Okay?
Go for it.
Fantasy, especially when it deals with relationships and our sexual acting out, our sexuality, is about escaping intimacy. One of the primary definitions I love about addiction is, I don't love about addiction, but I love the definition because it helps clarify, and it's that, addiction is a radical commitment to escape reality. And so, you've been escaping a reality inside of you, and I'm so glad to hear that you set up the boundaries, that you set up the accountability. But I'm wondering what's going on inside of your heart, inside of your relationships, and the work that you've done since this has been discovered, or since your wife has really put her foot down with this behavior.
Well, I abandoned it at her request in January of 23. I did not regress, but she's not been able to get over it or forgive it. And everything up until this past April was a red flag for her, to which she just said, I never did get over it. I've been miserable the whole time, and we need to separate again, which I told her I never sought help. I just abandoned it, you know. And sure, the temptation was there. The devil would come after me. But I've taken personal victory in, hey, yeah, the devil's tempting. Yeah, he knows where my weak point is, but I didn't give in.
Okay, so...
And it's like I want that to be recognized, and it's not.
Yes.
Sure.
And
Well,
go ahead.
and can I just say, though, amongst wives, there is a delayed reaction. She's been living with this. Okay, now you're being good. Now it's safe for her to feel all of her feelings about it, and the awareness that maybe she even kind of colluded with this, and that it really wasn't okay, and now she doesn't trust you for the mere fact that you were involved in this, and she may not fully understand it all. I mean, this is why we created our Restore workshop for women who are in relationship with someone who has a sexual addiction. But also, Samuel, I'm hearing that you're saying, and you do get kudos. So let me address that. You do get kudos for all that you have done. She may not be the one to give them to you yet, because she's still not feeling safe with you. And at your own admission, you've stopped something. You haven't started anything new or really dug into the whys of it. And I think this is the next step for you, Samuel, to really get into looking at your sexual addiction. Why is it there? Discovering it and going deeper, which is why we have our Every Man's Battle workshop.
Well, and there's three parts of the recovery, Samuel. I would say there's the part that you do, which is your sobriety. So you do that for yourself, not for anyone else. Then there's the transparency, which is showing the other person that, hey, you can begin to trust me again.
Yes.
But then there's also the betrayal repair, and so you can only do that together. And I'm hearing that you guys both have separate counselors, which is a good idea too, but you need to do some betrayal recovery, because you're wanting to get credit for, being sober and being transparent right now. But I'm not hearing a lot about what you have done to be able to acknowledge, recognize, hold her pain, maybe even hold her anger at what has been happening behind her back.
Well, and to that point, she's not wanted to address that yet. And I have looked into the whys. Since May, I've been dealing with the whys and the hows and everything with my counselor. That has been addressed. And it is a Christian counselor, someone who provides, and he is a minister, licensed in counseling. And I'm seeing a man, she's seeing a woman. I'm just worried about today, all the things together that could be fixed. I'm just worried that I'm not going to get the chance to hold her.
So, Samuel, let me jump in.
Yesterday. Yes, sir.
You may not get the chance, but right now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You haven't given yourself or her the chance. You've done some really, really good work, okay? Then, and to Jill's acknowledgement, I want to echo that.
Yeah.
Man, the work that you've done is really good. But there is something incredibly unique and profound about betrayal trauma. And if you're not seeing someone and digging into the nuances of and the details of betrayal trauma, then you're going to miss her heart. Now, there's another aspect here. Digging into your own past, your own patterns, your own process on why seeking connection and relationship in sexual intimacy outside of your marriage is a thing for you, And so that's the deeper work that gets into the specifics that we're challenging you, but really inviting you into.
Well, and I'm hearing, though, Samuel, that you're just anxious about the conversation that's going to happen today. And the thing is...
And the fear of loss.
Right, exactly. And that's the beginning of grief. And the thing is, you know, what she's going to say today is what she's going to say today. There's probably nothing that's going to be able to change that. And so there's a lot of unknown here. But I think what we're trying to direct you to do is to learn how to process the pain for her. I'm hearing you're doing your own work and you're talking with your counselor, but you've got kids together. And so you guys are going to be connected forever, for the rest of your lives with each other. And as you see each other, that can continue to be a painful experience, or it can be more of a healing experience if you can learn how to allow her... hold her anger, hold her pain through this.
So Samuel, instead of wanting her to give you credit for what you've done, again, you got to get that other places right now. Marc's talking about you hearing her pain and being able to tolerate her experience. Even if none of it was your intent, you have to fully understand and be with her in that pain and be grieved by it, that you were the cause of her pain.
And that's going to be for you too, because that's going to be the protective measure that's going to stop you doing that to someone in the future. It's being able to see what we're doing to someone else and the pain that it causes. And in essence, I mean, I heard you talking about a Christian counselor, but that's the whole reason why we take communion. We remember what Christ did on the cross for us, and we remember what, you know, how we grieved him through that. We received the forgiveness, but that's part of what stops us, you know, from continuing to sin as much as we do. And so this is going to be important for you, for your growth, for your next relationship.
Well, and Samuel, you know, just what you're hearing today, it's really important that you're not in control of what's going to happen with this conversation. But if you can go in with a high level of seeing, hearing, and understanding your wife without defense, it may not all feel accurate, but you want to know that it's real to her. I think the other aspect of this, I just want to encourage you in, is that there is some gaps in your recovery. And there is so much more life for you to enjoy in closeness, relationships. I want to encourage you to check out our Every Man's Battle intensive, because it will, I'm telling you, it's going to open up a whole new world
And the podcast.
And the podcast, yep.
Because you can do that right away.
Absolutely.
But
one more question for you. As far as owning hers, I've had to look myself in the mirror now for 2 years, going the best part of 2 years, 21 months now. And I know her pain. And that's one thing my counselor helped me understand was
that's great.
I am the cause. I am the cause. And I do know her pain. I guess what I'm wanting her to see is that I do own it. I do. I don't want credit from her. I don't deserve credit for it. I don't deserve credit for being good. I want the opportunity for her to know that I accept what I've done and that I want to be forgiven.
Oh, absolutely. So, Samuel, you're going to have to take the long road, not the short road on this. Okay?
Thank you.
Because if you're too anxious about it, then she'll think it's about you.
Because there's a long ways. When couples come in my office with this issue, I tell them right from the start, you better put 7 years in your back pocket right now. And it's an arbitrary number for sure. Like, don't get me wrong on that. I don't
it's not
have
exact.
It's not exact, and I
good.
don't actually know, but I know it's going to take way longer than what they ever expected to be.
It's a long recovery, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not wanting credit. I'm just wanting the opportunity to do the things you're telling me to do.
Well,
for sure.
Communicate that to her.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make sure that that's clear to her.
Focus on the things that you can control.
And ask her what she needs from you.
Yeah.
Start to begin trust.
Absolutely. And it's going to take a while, but start to begin that process. We're going to send you...
What do I do if she just says it's over today?
Well, then you have a different journey to begin, okay? But this is why we want you to focus on your recovery.
Keep doing your recovery, because that's all you can do.
Well, and here's the thing. Like we said, whether you're married or not, you're still going to be in relationship.
Absolutely.
So try not to focus on that. A lot of times women say it's over, but they watch and they observe. and
Yeah,
change their minds.
So, Samuel, we're going to send you a copy of Worthy of Her Trust, and that's just going to really, it lays out such a great pathway of the restoration of trust throughout the process when there is broken trust with infidelity. So, Samuel, thank you so much for calling in today. I want to remind our listeners that we have the Courage to Change conference coming up. It's an online conference. Again, there's not breakout groups, so you don't have to reveal your deepest, darkest things or what's going on inside of you, but unbelievable amounts of information and
lots of learning
and lots of good presenters that cover a variety of topics, mostly the courage to change in the areas in which we can find ourselves stuck in. Today is the last day that the early bird offer is on, $45 for the conference. It's a great price, great bargain. So go to newlife.com, sign up for the Courage to Change conference today. We'll be back right after this.
Before coming to this weekend, I have been dealing with the guilt and shame of an abortion that I had 20 years ago. And we have 3 awesome kids. But every time I kept getting close to the Lord, kids saying to me, "You're the best mom." That voice in the back said, "You're a horrible mother. Look what you did to that child. You killed somebody. You don't deserve any of this, and you're not worthy." To help free me from my guilt and see that I would not make the same decision today, I would make a different decision, and I am a great mom, and God can use me.
This is Steve Arterburn, and this is the story of a new life. After 20 years of guilt and shame, she attended a workshop and now is free. You can be part of offering hope to others as you step out in faith by donating to New Life Ministries.
To make your tax-deductible gift, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or visit newlife.com and click Donate.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today, and we are glad that Rachel is with us today. She's listening in San Diego, California on the internet, and again, that's one other way that you can connect with us is through the internet. Rachel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, well, thank you for calling in. Tell us what's going on and how we can help you.
Well, my 32-year-old daughter had a stroke and was also diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2022. So for the last 2 years, she's been living with myself and my husband. And about 4 months ago, she's now in an independent housing program where she stays. Those 2 years caused a great strain on my marriage. It generated a lot of resentment with myself and my husband, against each other, because I had to, take care of her every day. And, I really didn't have the energy to, for the relationship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
To give to him.
But like I said, yeah, it's been 4 months, and, I try to visit her like twice a month and check on her, but it has really caused a lot of resentment and anger between my husband and I, so much so that...
and Rachel, is your husband her father?
No, he is
okay.
not.
Okay.
And so Rachel,
that makes a difference.
Yeah, what's the question for us today?
how do I deal with the anger and resentment that I feel towards my husband? Because I really feel like a walk-away wife at the moment, as they were just talking about earlier.
And what's the resentment and the anger about? Is it because he's not caring for her or not understanding what you needed to do?
That, and he, I felt like he was trying to make me choose, even though she's my daughter, she's an adult and needed the care. I mean, that's what a mother does, but he felt like that robbed him of, as he said, he didn't sign up for that in the marriage. And so, yeah, it's just caused a lot of...
Rachel, does he have any of his own children?
He has 4. They're in a different state.
Okay.
And he actually didn't take care of them because of his own addiction that he had for about 20 years.
So he's not really been ever a hands-on parent. And
that's correct.
Okay, so
can I ask what addiction he had?
Cocaine. I mean, just from the NA world, cocaine, heroin.
Okay. Yeah, drugs.
All kinds
substances.
Of drugs, drugs.
That's helpful.
Well, Rachel, these are two very big things. Stroke is a huge medical condition, and schizophrenia is a huge mental health condition, and especially at such a young age, 30 years old, to have that happen. So, of course, a mom, any good parent, even though this is an adult daughter, is going to jump in and say, wow, I got to get in here. I got to help. And so, if he's
nowadays, like 30 years old, they're barely out.
Oh, for sure.
As an adult.
Yeah. I mean, and if he can't understand that, and he's saying things like, this is not what I signed up for, but then he's not understanding what marriage is, because that is exactly what you say in your vows for sickness and in health. And so I think all of this has really just kind of exposed a weakness and reactivity and insecurity in your relationship. Sometimes, again, I talked about this on a different show, we point to the circumstances and we say, well, it's this person or it's that thing that's happening. But it's not. When you shake someone's cup, what comes out, whatever's on the inside of that, and that's what is happening right now. And so I think that this is exposing a pattern, a core pattern that you guys have, and that needs to be addressed, likely in therapy.
And how long have you been married? Did we say that?
13 years.
Oh, 13 years. Okay. Okay, you did say that. Okay, so it's been a while. It's not like this is brand new.
But it sounds like you guys got married when the kids were gone or just left the nest.
Or in their late teens, yes.
Right.
So Rachel,
No.
But
we never had kids together.
No, that's right. But
your
we're talking about your kids.
Your daughter was in her teens when you got married.
Yeah. So Rachel, I just want to say there's two things that are going on. I would confront one thing if your husband was on the phone, and that was I didn't marry this, and I'm like, you're absolutely wrong. You can't be more wrong than that statement. Then you married you married an ideal. You didn't marry a person, which tells me that he's got a ways to go in his recovery. Okay. Because my guess is that he says, I have all these needs that you want to meet, so now you're dealing with 2 children that are in their adulthood.
Exactly.
Okay, now the confrontation of you. Okay, ready for this? You married him, and this is what you got.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so that's confronting your resentment right there, right? Yeah.
Well, you married a recovering addict, and I'm hoping he's in recovery.
We're assuming recovery.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We actually have a recovery ministry, so yes.
Oh, great.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
But his maturity needs to still catch up.
Yeah. But what you're saying, Chris, is that they're both responsible. They each have a part in this dynamic. Yes, he has his part, but you have your part too, Rachel. And so it's learning to recognize what's your part in the pattern and how do you learn to have conversations and confront this. And I would recommend coming to Intimacy in Marriage.
Yes.
That would be great.
And we're going to send you a copy of How We Love. That's going to really show you what the patterns are that Marc was talking about. Again, invite you to Intimacy in Marriage and the workshop in October, on October 25th in Dallas. And Rachel, we can't encourage you enough to get into some couples counseling to add to your recovery. We think that would be incredibly helpful for you. Thank you so much for calling in today. If you're waiting online, we're going to go right back to the phones after we take this break. and we'll be right back.
I'm addicted to oxycodone. I've been on oxycodone almost 3 years.
Addiction affects millions of people every year.
I've been on it for a long time, and I need to get off.
New Life can connect you with some of the finest Christian inpatient treatment programs in the country that work with people from all backgrounds and beliefs.
First, it was for back pain, and I was on it for a long time. And then I currently just had shoulder surgery.
If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction to illegal or prescription drugs, alcohol, or dealing with an eating disorder, it's time to seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers all around the country.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying, so my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. So glad that you're with us today, and it is your generosity that helps support us in bringing hope and healing in life's hardest places. If you'd like to donate today, you can go to newlife.com, hit the donate button, and that allows us to keep doing what we're doing, and we're so grateful for our financial partners and donors. And it allows us to keep going back to the phones, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to Penny in Indianapolis, Indiana. She is listening on NRB TV. Penny, how you doing today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
We're doing well, especially now that you're here with us.
Oh.
Well, talk to us. What's going on?
Well, this has been going on a long time, and in fact, this is the third time I've called in about this. I'm 76 years old, getting ready to go into a senior living facility with my husband, who is has dementia. What my problem is that we have daughter-in-law who will not let us and hasn't let us see our grandchildren for almost 15, 20 years.
Wow.
The oldest one just went to college.
Wow.
And the daughter-in-law is an educated person herself. She's could be teaching in a facility because she's got a degree, and is working right now. What I'm wanting to know, and what my question is, why can't I do something about this? What it is not right that we do not know our grandchildren, and what effect is it going to have on them that we have not gotten to know them?
Great question. And what is the reason? Do you know the reason why she won't let you see them?
No,
Okay.
I don't. And we're not the only one.
What does your son say? And do you have a relationship with him?
He did say that, and yes, I do have a relationship with my son.
Okay.
Good.
And he says we're not the only one. So she doesn't let her parents see them either.
So
Again,
if it was
reason.
Yeah, so if it was up to him, your son would allow you to see them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Your son is saying?
Yes.
Okay. And did they live close to you?
Probably about 20 minutes away.
Oh, that's really close. So, do you see your son?
Yes, periodically he comes to visit.
Okay.
He brings things for me, and he's, we talk to him on the phone quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you have every right to be upset, and you're right. What impact is this going to have on the grandkids? And it isn't fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue here, though, is with your son not being able to stand up to his wife, and being able to sit down.
Choosing peace in the home
Right.
versus being able to stand up, right?
Correct. Yeah, and being able to sit down and have a conversation. So have you tried to sit down and have a conversation with your daughter-in-law? Have you invited her over and say, hey, listen, I really want to understand if I've offended you in some way, or if you think I'm dangerous in some way, we just want to sit down and have a conversation to understand. Have you tried that approach?
No.
Okay. I would start there.
Yeah.
Well, I would, but also, does your son give you any explanation why she's cut all the grandparents out? Like, do you know have any general idea of what's going on with her, what her issues are?
He just seems to accept it, and
accept what?
Accept the fact that she is doing what she's doing as far as not.
But he doesn't give you any reason why. He doesn't give you any backstory to.
The older generation doesn't know what they're talking about, or she feels threatened by them.
Or she got hurt by something you did one time.
No, nothing. Nothing like that.
Okay. Well, this
is like that with everyone.
Okay, so this is a common reason for estrangement, is that you've had a good relationship with your son, so you thought, and then he marries someone who has issues, and instead of her getting the help she needs, she's over controlling the entire family. But this is really, your son is trying to survive, like with his head barely bobbing above the water, I think. And so again, he's just keeping the peace, because it feels like the only thing he can do. But I think you need to talk to him more and voice that you realize for him to just go along with this, he must feel helpless and powerless in the situation. Really try to draw out how he's feeling about it, what that's been like for him, and also the idea of his kids not having any grandparents, and ask him if there's anything you could do to come alongside him to maybe help his wife, to gently do something different. And then, Penny, your kids, your grandkids, the oldest is going away to school. Once they go away to school, I might start writing them a card, a note. Hey, I'm your grandma. I'm so sad we haven't had a chance to spend time together, but I just want you to know we're here, and we'd really love to know you as you emerge into adult
once they're
life.
Adults, they can make their own decisions.
They can.
And if she's that controlling, I'm sure her kids are likely feeling that too.
Yes.
It doesn't make up for the loss of time that you have and the grief that you're going to have to accept from this. But I would imagine that, if she's that controlling, they'll try and escape it at some point.
At some point, yeah. Maybe not the first year of college, but maybe towards the end.
Reach out to them. You have every right to do that. They should be able to make their own decisions at this point.
Yeah, but just send a nice card.
Once they're adults.
So Mark, and I like that. Hey, there's a grief process here that's real, so that has to be respected.
Yeah.
And with that, Jill, they're going to be adults, and they can form their own relationships. But there was another thing, Jill, that you're alluding to, Penny, that I think is really important. There is 100% guarantee on how to keep an issue alive. Never confront it.
Yeah.
Right? And so fear can keep us from confronting an issue and getting the backstory. But I'm actually surprised that we don't have any backstory or reason for why she's doing this behavior.
Right.
And why there hasn't been a sit-down conversation. Now, if you said, hey, I've reached out, it's done it multiple times, and she refuses, then we get it. But Penny, I want to encourage you to have hard conversations.
with her son.
Yes.
But realize there's going to be multiple conversations, right?
Yep.
If you are anxious and pressuring, that's not going to fly. I think to really try to draw him out and his experience.
And there could
be much more
And there could be a
invitational.
personality disorder at play here,
It
too.
could be.
For sure.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
You
going
mean
on.
her?
Yes,
Yeah.
social anxiety,
Personality
obsessive
disorder?
compulsive
Yeah.
disorder, autism, BPD, borderline personality disorder,
Yeah.
all kinds of things could be going on.
Mm-hmm.
She may have had childhood abuse.
Yeah, don't
I mean, we don't know.
self-diagnose. I think the key is to have a direct
Yes.
conversation with your son and keep pushing and keep asking how you can support.
Yeah, so Penny, there's a couple things here. So have the conversations. Actually, 3 things. Get into your grief process. And with those grandchildren, play the long game. Okay? Play it that this is going to take a long time.
Well, it
but when
already
they're
has.
adults, yes, and when they're adults, you can engage in their life. We don't know exactly what the impact on them will be because there's so many variables that we do not know. But we do know this: engaged grandparents do make a positive difference, and as so much is within your power, keep pursuing them. We're actually going to send you a copy of the Life Recovery Workbook for Grief, because I think that this one is really, really important. And Penny, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for being an engaged grandparent. So we're going to go right back to the calls. We're going to go to Kim in New York, New York, listening through our YouTube channel. So Kim, so glad that you're with us today and joining us through YouTube in New York, New York. We are actually coming up pretty close to a break here. So if you can quickly tell us what's happening and how we can help you.
Okay, my situation is I have a son. He's into the homosexual lifestyle, ulterior lifestyle, and he's involved with a guy, and he's currently living with him. But I had put him out because he was living home with me, and he was having a lot of, those guys coming into my home, and I was, and I couldn't allow that. And so he landed up with this guy, but this guy seems to me to have a lot of control over him.
Yeah.
Now my son is no longer working, and he's
Yeah, so as a result of this relationship, your son is also experiencing some negative things from this. So, Kim, we're going to head to a break. We're going to come back right after that. We're going to dig a lot more into your issue and give you some guidance. We'll be right back.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for your life and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. So glad that you are with us today. We're talking to Kim in New York, New York. She's struggling with her relationship with her son. And so, Kim, you were mentioning that he was living a gay lifestyle and that he was active in it while he was in your home, not respecting the boundaries that you had for your home. He, you set the boundary, he left, and now he's in a highly, highly controlling relationship. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Controlling, and it seems to me like now that he, brought this guy into his life, and now I'm, he's back we're back on good terms as mother and son.
Okay, good.
And I've been accepting this young man because this is what he is. He's grown. He's making his decisions, but that's not, that's not my decision. And
Kim, how old is he?
He's 34.
Okay, he's 34, and he stopped living at home when?
He stopped. He stopped living. I told him he had to leave back in November of 23.
Okay, so he lived at home a long time, and what?
He lived here,
or on and off.
He lived here for for a few years because he had lost his apartment through the pandemic, and I.
Oh, okay, yeah, a lot of people have moved home because of that.
How old is his partner, Kim?
His partner is, I think he's 44. 44. So he got quite a bit of years on him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Jill, you made a good comment.
I was wondering at the break because oftentimes you find that like a person goes from one dependent situation where someone is kind of taking care of them, and then they end up in another dependent situation. And you said he's not working and he's living with this guy. And so I was just curious about that. And with the guy being at least 10 years older, it's in some ways that can be kind of a parent figure or act in a parental role.
Right,
for your son.
That's definitely a dynamic there with a 10
right, and maybe some delayed growing up on your son's part of being fully independent.
I think what I would focus on. I think what I would focus on, Kim, is rather than it being a homosexual relationship, I would focus on the controlling aspect of the relationship, because if this person is, isolating your son, making him dependent upon him financially, it's probably only a matter of time before he starts to isolate him from other people too. And that's just a very...
Well, he's already did that. He's already did that for his friends.
Yeah.
He don't have any, he don't have any outside.
That's troubling.
Yeah.
This is a highly concerning dynamic. I would focus on that dynamic so that you can maintain his ear rather than him hearing what you're saying is that you're against his homosexual relationship.
He already knows.
You've
already been through that, right?
Yeah.
So, address the dynamics and how your son relates. And just set the homosexual part aside.
Getting close to becoming like a victim controller type relationship where your son is helpless, even though he could take acts of empowerment, but he's conditioned to be that way by a controlling partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's he was working when he left here. He had a job. He had a job of working there for like 7 years. He was a chef.
Whoa! Wow.
Now,
So Kim, here's what I would encourage you to do. Okay, he may not make the changes that he needs because these relationships, the bonding that happens in them, unfortunately, is incredibly strong.
I know.
Yeah. And it's driven by fear. Your son is terrified to leave this situation. And most likely, his partner feeds the fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's how control works, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Your son needs someone who believes in him.
What does your son say when you confront him about this dynamic?
The dynamics of the control.
Yes, yeah. Does he defend?
I haven't really confronted him with it because every time I talking with my son, he's there. He's with him. Like he's there.
Yeah.
Can you ever go out to lunch with your son?
We haven't even gone. He was supposed to come last week to visit me, and he wasn't able. He didn't come. He didn't come, and he was supposed to come over, and he didn't come.
Yeah.
And
so you see the. So let me jump in, Kim. So we see the incredible amount of control and fear that is happening here. To which you said, Mark, this is a very, very concerning dynamic.
And if he's to that extent, he probably monitors his communications too. It sounds like the son's partner works, and I would maybe go over there and try and see your son in person when his partner is at work.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk, see if you can get his attention, get him to come with it. And I would start by communicating how concerned you are about the dynamic of this relationship and that he's losing himself. You know, when you're in a good relationship, it should be kind of like adding salt to a dish, right? It brings out the flavor. But when you start to lose yourself in a relationship, right, something toxic is happening.
Yeah.
And so that's what the dynamic that I would focus on using those words.
Yeah,
just
whether this was with a female or a male.
Yeah.
Right? The concern would be the same, Kim.
So, Kim, we want to encourage you to keep pursuing your son. Keep pursuing relationship with him that he knows when he is ready for an escape plan and strategy that he has one. That ultimately he's trapped. It's going to be really, really hard on you because he may not take it, at least for a while. Okay, and so you want to protect your heart in the process.
But keep the communication open.
Yes, but keep as much as you can. Keep that. And I love the suggestion you had, Mark, of like, hey, when partner is away, go visit him. You know, go see if there's a way in which you can, just have a sit-down
leave
conversation.
Leave the house if you can, because
right,
right,
and again, express your belief in him, and help him see the situation for what it is. I think one of the books that we're going to send you, it's going to help see the situation for what it is Henry Cloud's book, Trust. It shows where relationships, the characteristics that can be trusted and the characteristics that cannot be trusted, and how we set boundaries around that. Kim, we are so grateful that you are a loving mom, that you are in pursuit of healthy relationship with your son, and we thank you so much for calling in today. We thank you all for listening today. And again, I just want to remind everyone out there that today is the last day, as I mentioned before, for the early bird rate of just $45 for the online Courage to Change conference. This is our only event without counselor-led breakout group processes. So if you thought that being in a group may have held you back, may be intimidating, know that this is your chance to attend a New Life event where you'll receive just great information from great experts. Don't miss this opportunity. Again, you can go online, newlife.com, sign up for the Courage to Change conference. Mark, Jill, thank you so much for being here today. Listeners, everyone out there, thank you for sharing with us, and be well.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.